If you're trying to become a SOC analyst right now, you have probably been watching the AI conversation play out and you're wondering, is this job even going to exist by the time you get there? The hype is everywhere. AI will replace analysts. AI will do all the triage. AI is going to make SOC teams obsolete. But is it really though? In today's video, I want to share with you my thoughts on this topic, where AI genuinely helps, where it gets things wrong, and what you need to do to understand it if you want AI to work for you instead of against you. Because the analysts who are using AI well are pulling away from those who are not, and the gap is only going to grow. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, hello, my name is Steven, and I've been working in cybersecurity for about a decade, mainly within the security operations domain. On this channel, you'll find videos about career guidance, lab walkthroughs, and projects that you can tackle and put onto your resume. I also run a free community for aspiring SOC analysts called the MyD for SOC community. So if you want to be surrounded with like-minded individuals working towards the same goal, I would highly recommend checking it out. Link will be in the description down below. So to start, let me walk you through where AI can be useful in a SOC because there is real value here when used correctly. The first big one is going to be triage. AI can take an alert and help you move through it faster instead of staring at a log and trying to figure out where to start. You can paste it in and ask the AI to break it down for you. Now, some environments don't even require you to paste anything in. The AI is already integrated, and it's already analyzed the alert by the time you open it. It can suggest what to look for next, it can tell you which MITRE attack tactic or technique are likely in play. It can also suggest follow-up queries to run in your SIM. Now that pattern matching used to take a junior analyst maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Now you can get a starting direction in seconds. But here's something that I do want you to keep in mind. Those queries that it suggests are not always correct. Sometimes they will be too broad and they will be extremely resource intensive on your SIM, index equals star, but sometimes they will pull back nothing useful, and sometimes they are just flat out incorrect. AI can reference fields that do not exist in your environment, syntax that just don't match your platform, or log sources that you simply do not have. For example, sysmon. And if you do not know any better, you might just take it as correct and you run with it. That is how mistakes happen. So you cannot simply just copy and paste blindly. You need to read what it is suggesting, understanding what it is asking the sim to do, and adjust it before you run it. AI can give you a starting point, but you still have to think, unfortunately. The next place that AI helps is understanding what a log is actually telling you. This is extremely huge for junior analysts. Previously, if you were looking at a log and you had no idea what half of it meant, your only option was to ping a tier 2 analyst on Teams or Slack and hope that they had time to explain it. Now you can paste it into an AI and get a reasonable explanation in maybe seconds or a couple seconds. Of course, I am implying that there are no sensitive information there. That alone is a massive accelerator for newer analysts who are still building up their pattern recognition. AI is also great for documentation. Writing SOPs, runbooks, and playbooks used to take, hours, if not days. Now you can give AI a rough outline and it will draft a clean version that you can refine. Same goes with CTI summaries. If you are reading a long threat intelligence report, and you need to extract the key indicators and tactics, well, AI can do that in a fraction of the time it used to take. So yes, AI is real and it is extremely useful, and the analysts who learn to use it well are going to be way more productive than the ones who do not. But I do want to slow down here because, well, AI is also wrong a lot of the time. In fact, if you do not know what you are looking at, it can get you into real trouble. For example, I have seen cases where AI would recommend blocking an IP simply because it appeared in an indicator of compromise feed, aka an IOC feed. The recommendation looks clean, right? Block the IP, done. We move on to the next alert. The problem was that the IP belonged to Microsoft. So if you blindly acted on that recommendation, then you might have just affected availability because, hey, legitimate Microsoft traffic could be using that particular IP or that block. What happens next is that phones start ringing, people cannot access services. Now you have an availability incident on top of whatever you were originally investigating. That same scenario plays out with Amazon, Cloudflare, or even Google IPs all the time. Their infrastructure shows up in IOC feeds, right? Because, well, attackers use cloud services for C2, aka command and control. But that does not mean that you should block the entire cloud provider. AI does not always make that distinction. It will see an IP in a feed, see it correlated with bad activity, and recommend blocking the IP. It is up to you as the analyst to know that that IP belongs to a major service provider, and blocking it would cause more damage than the threat you are trying to stop. The recommendation is only as good as the context it has, and it does not always have the context. You do. So given all of this, there are two rules I want you to lock in if you are going to use AI in your day-to-day work. The first one is always verify the output. AI is not perfect. It is going to be wrong sometimes, and it is going to be confidently wrong, which is even worse. The way I would describe it is this. You'll want to treat AI like a senior analyst who just woke up and is responding to your message. It sounds kind of correct, but you still need to verify. Read the suggested query it spits out before you run it, cross-check the recommendations against your environment, look at the IP before you block it. The second one is do not upload sensitive information. I cannot stress this enough. If you are using a public AI tool, you have to assume that whatever you paste in could be retained or used to train future models. That means no client data, no internal host names, no usernames, no customer names, no PII. If your organization has an approved AI tool that runs in your tenant, then great, go and use that. But if you're using a public model, you need to sanitize everything before it goes in. That said, I do want to give you a clear picture of what really matters here. For AI to actually be a force multiplier for you, you have to know what you're doing first. Garbage in, garbage out. If you do not know what a normal authentication looks like, you cannot tell when AI is wrong about an unusual one. If you do not understand how DNS works, well, AI giving you a query about DNS traffic is just going to be words on a screen. What I would highly encourage you to do instead is build up your foundations first. Learn the fundamentals, put in the reps, tackle your hands-on labs, build familiarity with what you are looking for and what evil actually looks like in a real environment. Learn to think for yourself first. Once you have that foundation, AI is going to become one of the best tools that you have. It will accelerate you. It will fill in the gaps. It will save you time on the boring stuff so you can focus on the parts of the investigation that actually needs a human. So if you are watching this and you are wondering what to actually do, here's my honest take. Use AI. Learn how to use it. Get comfortable with prompting. Understand what it is good at and what it is not. But do make sure that you spend even more time on the fundamentals. If you're completely new and you have never worked in IT before, your first move should be building up a foundation. That means a course or a program that covers IT fundamentals, networking, and general cybersecurity knowledge. You want to take a look at Professor Messer on YouTube as he has a lot of free courses out here that you can take. Once you have that foundation, then you can look into SOC-specific training. And honestly, it doesn't have to be mine. There are many great resources out there. Some are free, some are paid, but what really matters the most is that you pick a structured path that works for you and you stick with it. But if you are curious about what I built, check out the MyDefer Forge, where you get access to a SOC simulator with simulated clients running Splunk, Microsoft Sentinel, and Defender XDR. We have a structured 90-day SOC accelerator program and a Defer course that gets you to the next level. You get resume and report feedback from me and the community directly, and we run a monthly Capture the Flag event so you can apply exactly what you learned right away. Again, whichever path that you choose to take, make sure that you stay committed and stick with it. That is it for the video, and I hope that you found this informative. If you did, let me know by hitting that like button and subscribe if you want to. Remember to stay curious and do things differently.